Thanks for joining us, mate. So the new album is under the Patriarch name, right? Project
Yeah,
Prophet Ilya, yeah?
yeah,
Yeah,
Prophet correct.
yeah. So when you were writing for this one, did you have the new name or like any kind of new sounds in mind, like a bit of a change at all?
It's always when we are under the banner of Batushka, we are play and this legal issues is still ongoing in a court. It's still have on back on your head that it's maybe can be it's ending with not on your favor in the court, so you must change the name. So yes, we are always thinking about the name change, and always the patriarch name was in our heads. So I think it's a natural for us, but this time we are we are losing this all legal issues, these problems with the name, this all this shit that is around the name, the Batushka name, this hate in the internet, So it's absolutely a new page in new story, a new history of the band, new story in our new album. And yes, we have now some clear heads and moving forward.
Hmm, yeah. What's the relevance of Patriarch? Like, what made you choose that name?
Uh, Patriarch, it's the highest priest in the Orthodox Church.
Hmm,
It's some kind like Pope in the Catholic fight.
hmm,
Uh, so it's something perverse because Batushka, it's ordinary priest and must bow to
hmm.
to patriarch. So it's a little ironic, I think. But yes, it's um, like I say, it's something ironic in this name. But that's for us is uh, giving for us some kind of free zone, and we're leaving our closed zone that Batushka is it's a very closed concept, and Patriarch will be developing, so it's some kind of Batushka upgrade.
Yeah,
Patriarch is a Batushka upgrade.
yeah, cool. And this album, it's based on a real figure from the 30s and 40s, right? Can you tell us a bit about that?
Yes, it's about the leader of the Grzybowska sect. It's a well-known story not only in my region because it's happening in my region, but the story is well known in Polish, all Polish in Poland. Mm, uh, it's the biggest sect in the history of the Second Rzeczpospolita Polska. So it's the guy the leader who lead the sect. Uh, mm, it's historic name as uh, it's compared with the biblical prophet Elijah.
Oh, okay.
Also,
Hmm.
also the sectarians say that it's also is Jesus Christ the highest God. Also the John of Kronstadt. It's the famous name in the Orthodox faith. So it's one person in a four person. It's more like a god,
Hmm.
So it's thousands of sectarians. The story of the building the Orthodox Church, the story of the fighting with the Orthodox, as like Orthodox Church, like the priests. So it's uh, this this story itself. It's a blasphemian blasphemarian and heretic. So it's when I thinking about this few years ago, when everything starting, when everything was searching and preparing for this concept album, it's always resonating in my head that excellent story, and it will be amazing to making a music for this story. So it's happening now, and we have Prophet Ilya in our hands, and for sure we are very happy with the result of this album.
Mm, yeah. So Batushka and also Patriarch, you've got the whole Orthodox chants and the look and everything. What is it that you think connects the Orthodox thing to that black metal sound? Like they work so well together. What is it, do you think, that makes that work?
It's all about the singing and this part of Orthodox music, like singing chants, and especially for Byzantine singing, also a Russian melody, but also a Greek melody. So in this album, uh, we serving for our listeners the other faces of Orthodoxy, like our prophet, traveling for John of Kronstadt. We are traveling with this story to Greek to show the Greek face of Orthodox. We are traveling to Romanian to show the Romanian side of Orthodoxy, but also we are traveling to Bulgaria with the sounds of our songs. We're traveling to Russia, to Ukrainian. So you have um, a lot of veins of other Orthodox music. It's always will be in our the sound of Orthodoxy will be always in our music, but we are developing, we are evolving with Patriarch. So you listen, you're listening to all these arts, the folk instruments, the symphonic orchestra, the female vocals. So, like I said before, it's upgrade Batushka upgrade, and with the sound, with the looking, with the looks, with the theatrical, because Patriarch will be always also theatrical band.
Yeah. Um, are you still part of Witching Hour Productions? Like, are you still,
No,
no?
it's a hold on in last 3 years.
Oh, yeah.
I'm I must devote only for a band because um, providing label and providing the band, it's not always it's a good move, because you must devote for a one job and doing the best. So I choose the band, and moving forward with the band, and witching hour is hold on. I don't say that is closed, because maybe when I will be more time with the band, I will be release some good music,
Yeah.
underground music,
Yeah, cool.
music, of course.
Yeah, because you put out Basat, right? I think the Witching Hour.
Yeah,
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 yeah, that's
of
good
course.
stuff. Yeah, yeah. So your music is very like epic and cinematic. Do you listen to that kind of stuff as well? Like what kind of bands do you like to listen to?
Yes, it's also cinematic, but also is folk music. When I say about the music that I listening, of course, that will be Tchaikovsky with the part of classical music, but also Musogorsky. It's my favorite uh, writer, but also bands like the Heilung or Vardruna. It's also in my mind, but I listening a lot of Polish cinematic music, like Wojciech Kilar, um, like Polish folk music like Cheremshina. It's our regional singing, like our regional band, like Południca. It's uh, uh, I listen a lot of very different music. I also, I'm fan of Adele or Freddie Mercury. So it's I think it's just searching and looking always a good music.
Yeah. So 13th of December, you're making your way to Melbourne, yeah? Max
Yeah,
Watts. That's pretty exciting. So what can people look forward to? Is this going to be like a range of songs from the era, or is it you getting new
yeah.
stuff?
That's
Or
that will be arranged, from all Batushka
mm,
albums,
mm,
uh, from liturgy to Prophet Ilya.
mm,
Will be three new songs on the set, so it will be around 95 minutes of good music with a good theatrical show, I think, and we're looking for some surprises, of course, at the end.
yeah, yeah, cool. And one last question I've got to ask, you must travel with like all the gear you're going to put on and also your guitars and everything. Do you ever get any funny questions at customs or anything like that?
Yeah, always,
Yeah,
always,
yeah.
always. It's they opening our suitcases and looking at Jesus Christ, what's going on here?
Yeah.
So it's we are starting to explain everything that it's musical gear. There's stage probes. They are our ropes. Okay, it's closed. Come
Yeah,
on, it's
cool.
always the same.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, but thanks very much for your time. And yeah, looking forward to you guys being here. Thanks, mate.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh,
See ya.
see you
Thanks.
later. Joachim, how did I go with
Yeah,
that one? Is that
yeah,
how's that
that's
out
all
of
right.
10? Is that okay? Like,
I've heard way worse. So
yeah,
yeah,
okay. Cool. Well, thanks for coming on, man.
sure.
What was happening in Denmark in like 2020 that like kicked off Neckbreakker? How'd you first get together?
I mean, the main thing that was happening in Denmark was I don't know if you know the band Based, uh, Danish death metal band that kind of like they kind of revived the whole scene, at least for like our generation of people.
Hmm.
That is like it was like a new young band that we could all like uh, get together around and be inspired by. So pretty much our band is just five people that really like that band. And then we found each other like through different ways. Some of us went to school together, and some of us just met at like a jam session and stuff like that. And then we all just wanted to play the same kind of music pretty much. And it was kind of hard to find people our age that wanted to play death metal. So as soon as we got the band together, it was like we just wanted to do as much as possible, pretty much.
Yeah. Cool. So what was the Danish metal scene like when you first started? Like, were your very early shows local ones?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, I think the first couple of years I went to shows, it was only like local shows. And the first death metal show I saw was the band Based I mentioned earlier. I saw them
Hmm.
at a local venue in my hometown. And that's pretty much where I decided I wanted to play death metal. That's where it all started. So yeah, so we knew instantly that we just wanted to go out and play as many local shows as possible because like we were already a part of that scene. And since then, the scene has grown like much stronger, at least with like younger people and people like us. And I think it's also led to a lot of younger people starting bands since like in the past couple of years. So the scene is growing stronger for every new young band that started.
Yeah. No, that's great. And it looks like you played heaps of huge gigs even before you released your first song. Like, can
Yeah.
you remember when it was that you started like playing these to these much larger crowds, like those first massive shows?
Let me think. The first like festival, a big festival we got was Sweden Rock, which we got in last year, 23, which was after we played the Copenhagen Festival. Our big metal festival in Denmark has this like showcase show each year, called Copenhagen Freezes Over, and after that show, we just pretty much started getting offers to play like bigger festivals and stuff, and that's where we got in contact with our booking manager as well. So it was pretty much, it all started from there, and then we just made sure to like, even me and my friend Sebastian, who's the bassist, we were in school at that time, and we just pretty much had to say like, no matter what, if even if it's we have to miss an exam or some shit, we have to do this.
Yeah, man. Yeah. Oh, that's cool. And your first album's coming out in December through
Yeah.
Nuclear Blast, right? Like that's
Yeah.
huge. How'd you get together with Nuclear Blast? That's awesome.
Yeah, that was actually, it was the same that showcase concert I talked about earlier. That was they Copenhagen invites like everyone in the like industry that they can get a hold of, and we got in contact with like a bunch of labels there. But pretty early on, I think we were all in agreement that it was gonna be Nuclear Blast, because like obviously it's like one of our favorite labels because they have so many like bands that have like inspired us and that we've listened to forever. And but also just like talking with the team there, they were just very understanding, and they were very like into the idea of what we were trying to do with the band.
Yeah. Oh, that's awesome, man. So did you write songs specifically for Within the Viscera, or are these songs that you selected from ones that the band was already playing, you know?
I think like the first couple of years we just wrote more songs so that we could play longer live sets.
Yeah.
So we just ended up with like, I don't know how many songs, 15 or 16 songs, and then we just picked out the ones we thought were the best ones for the album. I think only the first single, Horizon of Spikes, was the last song we wrote, and I think that might be like the only one that we specifically wrote with an album in mind.
Yeah, okay.
But then we went back and we like looked at all the songs again and saw if there was any changes we could make to like, I don't know, to make them fit together better and have a more like coherent like album experience. And I think it went well.
Yeah, yeah, man. So with the songs that were left over, do you think you'll ever record those? Like, are they going to end up on something at some point?
We'll see. They might need a bit of a refreshment. Some of them are pretty old, but I mean, there's a lot of like, at least in Denmark, fan favorites there that didn't make the album. So maybe we can make like, maybe we'll bring some of them back. We'll see.
Yeah, cool.
We can rewrite them or whatever.
Yeah. How does writing work for Neckbreakker? Like, are you all bringing riffs, or is one person sort of in charge of that? Like, how does it all come together?
The process that we've like kind of fallen into, or at least found out is the best for us, is mainly the me and our other guitarist Johan bring the riffs, and then the writing process itself is like a everyone in the practice space. Like we sit there for hours and just write together. Even our lead singer Chris, who he's not playing guitar, but he'll like make suggestions for like composition or like whatever. We've just found out that that's what works best for us, is everyone in the room.
Yeah, cool. So the album cover with the wrists, is that one of you guys with your arms up in that photo?
It's actually not. It was an idea that Chris and our A&R from Nuclear Blast, Joe, when we had to find an album cover, they talked about a bunch of different ideas, and we kind of came up with that we wanted to do one inspired by the song Shackled to a Corpse. So when it came around, we had to do it. We were actually on tour. So we contacted our photographer, Malene, who's done all our photography in like pretty much the whole band's history. And I think she ended up photographing her, I think it was her boyfriend or something, his hands with chains around them. And then we sent it to Daniel Owen, who did the album cover and like did all the graphic design and stuff.
It's cool. I can't imagine it'll be funny for him. Like there'll be like t-shirts with his arms on them. That's kind of cool. Yeah. Yeah. So early on, you guys were called Neckbreakker, right? Is that
Nakkeknækker.
Ah, there you go.
Which
Yeah.
it just means neckbreaker in Danish, like
Yeah.
directly translated.
So were the lyrics in Danish back then as well?
The very first songs we did on our first that we've done, we did like a demo like years ago. They were in Danish, but we found out pretty quickly that we wanted to do the songs in English instead.
Yeah. That's
So,
cool. Yeah, sweet. So you said, was it Bayus? That was the band you were talking about earlier, right?
based, yeah.
Yeah.
Based.
So have you been able to play with those guys? Like, is that come
Yeah, we
about?
actually
Yeah.
got in 2022, which was like the year where we really started playing shows. In the end of the year, we got the opportunity to do like a small Danish tour with them, which was like fucking huge for us and like a full circle moment. Because like as I mentioned before, the moment I decided I wanted to play death metal was when I saw them at our local venue in my hometown, and then we like 2 years later, 3 years, I don't know, 4 years later, or whatever, got the opportunity to play with them at that very same venue. So that was like still one of my favorite memories from this band is like going from seeing them in the crowd and being amazed to like being able to stand like at the side of the stage and watch them play those same songs again.
That's cool, man. So what else have you been listening to these days? Like, what other bands are you checking out?
Oh, there's a lot. The new on Death record is fucking cool.
Yeah.
Uh, Gotta say Speed when this is an Australian interview.
Mhm.
And let me see what else. The new Blood Incantation record is also really, really good. There's a bunch. I also love a lot of like hardcore and all even hardcore adjacent. So there's the new High This album, which I really like.
Yeah, cool.
Yeah, a bunch of new stuff coming out. That's really cool.
Yeah, that's good, man. So obviously you played loads and loads of shows, and we talked about Based earlier. Are there any other bands that we're kind of stoked to be able to play with over the last few years? You know?
Well, in Denmark at least, we played with Hatesphere, which is like a very legendary band, at least in Denmark. They were really, for a Danish band, they got really big in like the 2000s.
Hmm.
And then let me see, we got this summer we were on a small tour and with Left to Die, and of course, all of us being huge Death fans, it was just fucking insane to like be able to see them play those songs, and even being like a huge Exhumed fan. It was fucking cool to see like Matt and like talk to them. So
Yeah.
yeah, that was fucking cool.
Hmm. That's awesome. So your album's out December 6th. So are there any singles coming out before then? Any other singles?
There's one more single coming out in addition to the two that have already been released. So that should be out in like some point in November, if I remember correctly, with the last music video also.
Cool.
And then the album drops, yeah, December.
Yeah, nice. And then I imagine you got a bunch of shows lined up, yeah, over the winter for you guys, right? Yeah.
We have like two big like end of the year headliners we're doing in Denmark, in Aarhus and Copenhagen, and then we're booking for next year tours and stuff. So that should be some news around that pretty soon as well.
Yeah, cool. Any chance you make it down our way? I know it's a bit of a trek, but like, we'd love to see you.
We'd love to go. We haven't don't have any specific plans yet, but we fucking stoked to do it.
Yeah, cool, man. That's cool. Well, look, yeah, okay, thanks heaps for your time. Yeah, killer record I was listening today, man. It's good stuff.
Thank you,
Yeah,
man.
links below for everyone to check it out. Thank you very much, man. Have a good one. Is that a Cannibal Corpse shirt? I got the stubby old already.
All right, cool.
All right, how are you, man? How's it going?
So far, so good. Having
Okay.
my second cup of coffee, so
Yeah,
good to
lovely.
go.
Excellent, man. So the new album, Winter Storm, is out October. This is the first release since 2020's Thalassic, right?
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, and like the longest break between releases for you guys as well.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah, it's kind of crazy.
Usually being like a 3-year
Hmm.
cycle.
Yeah,
but there
yeah,
was that little thing that stopped the world for a couple of days, a couple of years.
yeah.
So that's what the longer break.
Yeah, of course. Did you use any different producer or recording technique this time around?
Um, Not really. No, we went back with Janne Joutiniemi, who was also producing and recording a couple of other albums,
Hmm.
and he's just a solid dude to work with. So no need to change if there's nothing broken.
Yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah.
And Winter Storm, the lyrics are based on a fantasy story by Sammy, your bass player, is that right?
That is correct. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
kind of like based on the book what he's writing, which is not nearly even there yet.
Yeah,
So
sure, sure.
yeah.
Do you ever discuss like story theme ideas as a band, like what you're gonna do narrative wise?
Yeah, but those are usually like really bad ideas what we come up as a group.
Mm. Okay, yeah, yeah.
And like the most ridiculous topics because getting like like an idea for the lyrics and themes and storylines is like really difficult. And those usually pop up then when we're almost running out of time.
Mm.
And then Sami finally pulled together like the last minute idea that yeah, I got this book thing in the work in progress, and maybe that would fit. And it actually did, since the music is pretty much kind of like the most serious album what we have done
Yeah.
ever. Yeah.
Mm. That's cool, man. Do you think that changed like is the sound kind of different at all? Or is it like you guys are doing your thing, you know?
Um. Yeah. It's right now we don't have any kind of like this, like beer song or
Sure,
some
sure.
some song which had some cooler like mid parts. For example, like Two of Spades, we have the Finnish disco scene in
Mm.
the middle, and this kind of stuff. So yeah, this is considered serious music now.
Yeah, yeah. It's cool. Um, so does writing work with the band? So you have like multiple vocalists and different vocal styles that you guys have. Is someone in charge of orchestrating like you sing there, or does it happen differently to that, you know?
Um, I would say that one is kind of easy part
Okay.
to figure out who's gonna sing at what parts. They, when you guys are doing the melodies and riffs, you have the idea already in your head
Yeah.
who's gonna do what. So that is basically the easy part, but then like really make it happen, that's where the work begins then.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Um, so with COVID and everything, was the writing different this time around? Like, were you guys kind of talking more over computers than you would have normally when in this process, or is that kind of just how it's done?
We were basically keeping in touch on WhatsApp, you
Yeah,
know,
yeah. Mm,
since when COVID started in 2020, it was like March when the
mm,
world shut down.
mm,
Uh, we got also email from the management that there's nothing gonna happen for the rest of the year. So here you guys on January
mhm,
21. Well,
mm.
okay, so rest of the year is off, and nobody had any interest of going to the rehearsal place or whatever. So we just took the time off. It was actually pretty good.
Mm.
Uh, just the time off from like being on tour and recording new albums. It was, at least for me, it was very refreshing, kind of like a mandatory summer vacation.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yeah. So two singles, got the Winter Storm, Vigilantes, and of course Long Winter of Sorrow and Strife. That's a ripper, that nice punchy song. I like that. How do
Yeah.
you decide which songs you're gonna release first? Like is there ever many disagreements, or are you generally like, oh, these are definitely our singles, you know?
We got some ideas, and then the record label has also their
Yeah.
vision of
Mm.
what would be kind of like the best order of releasing singles. But that's also pretty easy thing to work out.
Yeah. Yeah, cool. And you joined the band about 20 years ago, right? Like
Yeah,
it's
it
been
was
a while. Yeah.
2004. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. How'd you first get together? Like, how'd that happen?
That was just after Ensiferum released the Iron album, and they got their first tour offer for Europe
Mm.
on the 2004 spring, and Jari, the former singer, he had his Winter Sun recordings on the first album. It was overlapping with the tour, and he said he's not gonna like reschedule that one. So that's how they departed. And we shared the same rehearsal space at Helsinki Nosturi, and I was just upstairs with Norther, and then we just kind of like met and whatever, and they asked like, so what you doing on, was it like April? I'm like, nothing. Want to go on tour? I'm like, yeah, why not? So then I went to substitute for the tour. Then came the summer festivals, and then suddenly we're already at 2005. And then they're like, would you like to stay in the band? I'm like, yeah, why not? So
Yeah, cool.
here I am 20 years later.
Nice one. Yeah. Has the way the band writes or records or operates changed much over those couple of decades?
Um, Little bit, yeah.
Yeah.
When it was like that 2005, 6, 7, 8, we were spending a lot more time at the rehearsal room, actually. It was at the Helsinki City Center back at that time, so it was a convenient place to meet up, and writing a lot the music as a group at that point. And then now everybody has their own lives and families and day jobs in between and all that one. So Markus is the main songwriter, so he's doing most of everything at home, and then he started bringing some ideas to the rehearsal place, and we'll check them out together.
Okay, cool. I wanted to ask about Satanic North, if that's cool.
Yeah, sure.
So you've been with them since the start, yeah? How did Satanic North start?
Yeah, that was actually pretty cool. That was the COVID pandemic,
Oh, yeah.
kind of like boredom killer.
Mm.
Yeah, the guys were just sitting in the bar it was just before COVID hit, and there was some latest Immortal album playing over there, and they were like, yeah, we you know should have like a black metal band. Black metal is cool, like soothing and relaxing music in a way.
Mm.
And then they're like, okay, yeah, sure, let's go check it out on some stuff. And it was one Sunday afternoon when Ensiferum drummer Janne called me, and yeah, we have this band, and we would need either way a bass player or a second guitar player for the band. And it's like black metal, and the band is named Satanic North, and I'm like, I'm in. I don't care what I do. So then we met up at the rehearsal room and thought about the second guitar, but at the point there was no bass in it. So I tried the bass on the first rehearsals, and kind of figured it out almost immediately that I think this would be a good fit.
Yeah, that's cool. So had you played bass much before Satanic North?
Never.
Oh, yeah, okay.
Just
Yeah.
random stuff at like once in a decade,
Yeah,
but
right.
never. So I have the very much like guitar player feeling for it, of course.
Yeah, yeah.
Never took any bass lessons, so but I've seen a lot of bass players do it. So I'm just like, play what I heard from them, try to evolve that one to the stuff of what I do. And it's very cool. It's you got the guitar doing its own thing and the bass player doing its own thing, and it kind of gives a lot more space for both instruments, just to have one guitar and the bass, that you would have the two guitars dominating kind of like the harmonies and all these ones. So it's really cool. It also opens up kind of like new approach to writing music.
Yeah, so how does writing for Satanic North compare to Ensiferum? Like, does it work differently?
Very much differently, yes.
Yeah, yeah.
And we just have the four elements: drums, guitar, bass, and vocals. So no backing tracks, no keyboards, no nothing like that. So it's We just had actually rehearsals last week, and we were there for an hour and a half, and we got one new song.
Oh,
So
great. Yeah.
yeah, so with Ensiferum, that probably will never happen. Like
So,
going
yeah.
to the rehearsal place and leaving with a new track, never. So it's a longer process with Ensiferum, but Satanic North, it's easy. We we definitely want to also keep it in a kind of like a simple form
Mm.
that we bite too much at once. But I think the writing new songs will continue as the same way we did with the first album.
Yeah, cool. So do you think we'll hear some more Satanic North next year, maybe?
Hopefully,
Yeah,
since
cool.
next year we'll be really busy with Ensiferum, so we'll try to push for the end of this year to get some new material ready at least. So
Yeah,
then they
yeah.
would be kind of like recording ready at some point next year.
Awesome. That's cool.
Yeah,
And you joined Warman in 2023, right?
that's what I did. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So that's another mix of metal styles again. How'd you get together with Warman?
Well, that was also approached by a message from Janne Virman.
Hmm.
Uh, they said like they're putting up the Warman band again after a long break, and then like they also said that they got like a totally new music style compared to the older albums. Not so much power metal style, but a lot rougher, kind of like death metal, melodic death metal stuff. I'm like, sounds very interesting. And they're like, would you like to come and do the vocals for it? I'm like, yes. So that was basically it. And
Yeah.
then it was the 24, 23 in the beginning. I think it was like February or something like this. I was going to the Antti's basement studio to do the vocals over there, and it turned out really fucking good because the guys had, when I did the vocals, they had like drums and not even the final version of the rhythm guitars in it.
Yeah. Well,
And all the melodies, keyboards are still missing, no bass. So I'm like, okay, well, it sounds all right now. You got some guitar stuff going on over there, some good riffs and stuff. And then I heard the last version when it was mixed and mastered, and I got the copy of the album. I'm like, holy shit, this is really fucking good.
yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, it was really cool too.
Were you there to play that Easy Lover cover? Were you a part of that bit as well?
The what cover?
The cover of Easy Lover, the Phil Collins cover? No?
Uh, no, I was
Oh,
not
never
there.
mind. No worries. That's cool. So you play an awesome range of like eclectic, great music, lots of different stuff. What are you listening to lately? Do you listen to a lot of different stuff as well?
Uh, Very much, I got the pop music history coming from my older sister. She's 10 years older, so
Hmm.
the Madonna and Pet Shop Boys and all these ones are locked in the brain.
Yeah, yeah,
And then well, Cannibal Corpse,
yeah.
one of my all-time favorite bands. Tons of Slayer and shit like that. So a lot of from side to side, depending on the day and mood, basically.
Yeah, yeah, that's cool. And you would have played a lot of massive shows. Have you ever seen a band or happened to catch a band where you're like, oh, these guys have got something?
Um, Not really. The kind of like the festivals are usually I'm playing myself in them, so there's
Hmm.
not so much time to check out like newer bands or whatever. But
Hmm.
if I have time to check out somebody, I will. Last time I was in Switzerland a couple of weeks ago, I managed to see Emperor.
Oh, nice.
They
Yeah.
played right after us, and that they were really solid,
Hmm.
solid band.
Yeah, that's cool. So Ensiferum with the album, you must have some shows coming up, yeah?
Yeah, we're gonna go on a Pagan Fest tour, which also being a 10 years break.
Hmm.
For Europe, it's gonna be in like Elstorm and Elven King and Tyr and Heidevolk in it. So that's gonna be a fun package to play again. So that starts in January all over Europe for about a 4 weeks tour. And then we got a couple of other things lined up and tons of summer festivals popping up as we speak. And you know, going month by month, kind of. Album is coming out in a couple of weeks, so things
Yeah.
are looking nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's cool. And Ensiferum played Oz like pre-2020, I think. Do you think you'll make it back down to Australia at any point?
It would be really cool. It just sucks you guys are so fucking far away from here.
Yeah, we are.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
it's just coming to Australia and coming back, that's like a really, really rough trip. So would need to put some, I don't know, shows in Asia on the same trip, make it like 2-3 weeks, something like that. So we'll definitely try to make it happen, yeah.
Yeah, cool. And before the album's out, are there going to be any more singles? I really dug that last track, Victorious, or, you know.
If I remember right, there is some kind of video thing coming out, but not sure. Was it like a real video or was it like a lyric video popping out?
Okay.
Either way, yes, there's gonna be.
Yeah, nice. Awesome. Well, look, the album's out October. Petri, I hope I'm saying your name right. Thank you very much for your time, sir. Cheers, man.
Cheers. Thank you very much.